Welcome back again to Driving at Home. Today we're going to do another installment in our series of videos where we are looking through what's available on the market for a given type of car that somebody would be looking for that's in a certain market demographic. So today we're actually going to jump in and look for a kind of a beater with a heater, but actually with a little better profile. In other words, we're going to have a car that is a good family car that can carry lots of passengers, but that will also not be more than $6,000. Some of you might think that's kind of expensive, but nowadays, really, the way inflation has been going, $6,000 is a pretty low budget car these days, because a brand new minivan of any type is now commanding upwards of $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 just for a regular, Toyota Sienna or Honda Odyssey or what have you. So let's jump in here and we're going to look at Facebook Marketplace, where people are now going to find their vehicles. Most people are. A lot of people are. People still go to Craigslist, and some go to like Auto Trader or what have you. The various places, Edmunds.com, Cars.com. But we're looking at Marketplace on Facebook. And again, we're looking for a family vehicle for less than $6,000. We found here, first thing we found in our search here is a Honda Odyssey, 212,000 miles with an EXL. And let's take a look at that just to see what you get for around $6,000. They want $6,250. So this might be an individual selling it. It could also be a dealer, one owner. Says here. So we have, looks like they've been at somewhere cleaning it out. The way it looks like here is it's in a parking lot, so it might, yeah, this one here is just getting cleaned. So this is an individual owner. Probably a good option for somebody that wants a minivan. Has fairly high miles, but for a 2012, that's 12 or 13 years old, that's probably somewhat in the ballpark for one of these vehicles. If people use it as their all-around runabout, it's going to rack up some miles. This one here is pretty well equipped. Leather. Transmission fluid has been changed. It shows here that the timing belt was replaced with the water pump, tensioner, idler, pulleys, and belt drive. This is one of the first things, as you know, if you've seen our prior videos, one of the things we'll ask owners if they haven't listed it is, when was the timing belt last changed? Because the answer to that usually will suss out how well maintained this car is, and will give us an idea if they even know much about the maintenance history of it. With these Hondas, of course, as you know in our prior videos, the transmissions in Hondas can be somewhat problematic after they get to high mileage. 212,000 is probably still okay, still has some life in it, but as you get upwards into the 300,000 mile range, then you're going to be looking at potentially a transmission rebuild or replacement. So, which is not a deal breaker per se, but it is something you want to factor into your pricing. Everything else here looks pretty good. Everything works. It says here it has a sunroof. Tires and brakes are like new. That's a good feature for a car. Let's go ahead and take another little round here of the pictures for this. It looks like the interior is actually in really good shape, especially those front seats. So let's leave this here, and then we're going to go on and look at what else we have available in Marketplace for a family vehicle around $6,000. We can go lower in price, but the likelihood of finding something that's in decent condition as you go lower will be much more difficult to find something. So as we go down into here, we're going to try to talk a little bit about what you're looking for in a car that you consider a beater with a heater. It's something that can get you from point A to point B safely, reliably, and without a whole lot of potentially a whole lot of bells and whistles. You likely will just need some transportation, and you know, if it has working air conditioning, all the better. If it's, you know, got sunroof and all the other bells and whistles, and that's nice to have, but we're not necessarily looking for something that is the cat's meow, as it were. We're looking for something just to do the job and do it in a manner that is sufficiently, you know, civilized, if you will, that you will not be bothered by lots of problems with the way the vehicle runs. So here we're looking down through here to find something. Here's a Ford Flex with 193,000 miles. That might be a good option. They wanted 5,000 something dollars for that. Now we want to try to zero in on if there are any Toyota products. Toyota is always a good go-to for a low-cost vehicle that's going to operate and run well. And you usually can find some pretty good options, but lately there's been supply shortages, as we all know, so the availability of some of these cars has been less than plentiful, if you will. You can see here is a newer version, 2020 version of a Toyota Sienna, and they want $36,000 still for that, with almost 50,000 miles on it. So they're still pretty pricey. So finding one down here in the affordable range for about $6,000 is potentially a challenging task to undertake. Earlier we were looking through the vehicles that were available, and we did see a blue, kind of a greenish blue Sienna that popped up. I do not see it now, but If it comes up, we'll show it to you. The availability of Siennas are slim pickings when it comes to low price. So, as you can tell, we're having some difficulties finding a Sienna in our given location here that is of the price range that we're looking for. Let's look around a little bit further. And one of the best things about this price range is that you have people that are looking to sell and move on to something new. Sometimes they're downsizing because their family maybe is moving on from, say, the kids growing up, or the family getting to where there's maybe some older teens in the mix that don't want to drive a minivan, so they are getting a different vehicle for them, and then they don't need to haul so many people. So that's one way that you can actually score one of these minivans for a little less money, because they've already moved on to a bigger, better, or more right-sized vehicle for their family. So here we go, is a Toyota Sienna 2011, which is near the beginning of this generation of the Sienna, which still, it's been going for quite a while, this body style, so it still looks somewhat fresh because they've not moved on from this body style for many, many years. Although, you know, you go to any soccer match or sports match where there's a bunch of families, and you will see a sea of Toyota Siennas along with the Odysseys and what have you. As we look through this, the pictures show that this is a basic LE model and has 246,000 miles and change. 2 brand new tires and 2 tires less than a year old. This is very reliable. Interior is in excellent condition, which is nice for these cars with the cloth interior, because many times those will be run down and they might not look so good after a family's done its thing in that car. This car looks like it's been taken pretty good care of. We're going to actually send a note to the owner of this one to see what their what the scoop is. They actually have responded and said that they're the second owner of this car, which is very rare for a car this age, but nice to hear that they have owned this car for so long, and they're up on the maintenance, and it looks like they keep up the interior well, so everything looks good. Obviously, as you know from our prior video, which we'll put up here, these Siennas have a problem with the automatic rear door that breaks, the automatic feature brakes, so you have to close them manually after that occurs, unless you fix it. But many times when you're at this stage of the game, you don't want to have to do a bunch of maintenance work and to pay a lot of expenses for maintenance. So we'll see how this works. Let me know in the comments if you would like something like this, if this would be something that you would go for as a beater with a heater family edition. And also make sure you subscribe as we go into future videos of this car and others. Check out our prior videos. Also, make sure that you give us a thumbs up if this was interesting or helpful. Leave us a comment below to tell us if you would go for something like this, or if you would forego this and go for something else. If you were looking for something that was affordable, around $6,000 for the family. And that's it. So until next time, keep driving it home.